Yo, what's happening? This is Living in Alberta, and today we have a video that's aptly titled, Don't Move to Blackfalds Alberta Before You Watch This Video. Yo, what's happening? Welcome to the channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. On this channel, we break down everything when it comes to moving to or living in Alberta. So if you do want to see more videos like this one, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you are notified every week when a new video comes out. And of course, if you would like any help with the real estate needs, I am a realtor in the province. Use this information. Get a hold of me any way you know how. All right, let's get right into the video. All right, guys, let's get right into it. Blackfalds is a super popular area to live in this central Alberta area. Lots of people who are considering the Red Deer area really take a long look at Blackfalds, and I think for a lot of good reasons. In my opinion, the best way to describe Blackfalds is a youthful, young, energetic, vibrant community.
These are good people.
I swear that it was designed for people who have young families. It's got tons of parks and playgrounds. It's got a 40-kilometer speed limit in the residential area. So some really good things when it comes to having a young family. I got some friends there. They say that they let their kids go out and play all the time. They're not worried about crime. They're not worried about safety.
There's nothing to be afraid of. This is a safe place.
And I'm telling my men, there's been no crime here.
Now, disclaimer, there are shitheads that live everywhere. So yes, you might get unlucky and live by some douchebag. But for the most part, it's a very safe, young community that is fabulous if you have a young family. Now, in this video, I kind of want to talk about some of the things that I think Blackfalds has going for it and maybe some potential negatives of living in Blackfalds. First off, let's talk about the growth of Blackfalds. It has seen some meteoric, I don't know if that's the right word, stratospheric. It has seen a ton of growth over the last few years. So 2011 to 2016, fastest growing community in the country. Through that time, from 2011 to 2016, it saw a growth of 48%. So that is massive. Now, by 2026, they're projecting the population to be between 20 and 23,000 people. Right now, the population is just under 12,000 people. And I think that is a pretty crazy statistic, seeing as just over 15 years ago, Blackfalds had less than 4,000 people. Now, it may not be the fastest growing community in Alberta any longer. There's some other communities like Airdrie and Canmore and Cochrane that have overtaken it. It is still growing at twice the provincial average. Now, a lot of these other communities that are experiencing this big growth are having trouble keeping up with infrastructure. But this is where I think Blackfalds has done an amazing job. They've really matched the infrastructure growth with this massive population growth. So over the last 10 to 15 years, they have added a ton of stuff to the town of Blackfalds. One of the biggest things was the Abbey Center. Now, this really is a world-class recreation center. It really is fantastic. You're not going to find anything better in the big cities. It is fabulous for a town or the size of the population of 12,000 people. Now, they've also added the Eagle Builder Center, which is home to the Blackfalds Bulldogs hockey team. It's an AJHL hockey team. 1,400 seat arena. There is another twin arena for the young kids. And it's got a brand new public library. So 12,000 square feet. It is one of the biggest libraries in central Alberta. It has 2 levels to it. And another huge development that they have broken ground on is the new public high school in Blackfalds. So it's going to accommodate grades 9 to 12, which is awesome because as of right now, most of the kids are being bused to Lacombe. So it is great that your kids are going to be able to finish their education from grade 1 to grade 12 within their hometown. And they've also extended the attendance boundaries surrounding the community. So kudos to the town council, whoever handles that kind of thing. I'm not much of a politic guy. I don't know who does that kind of stuff, but Blackfalds and the community has done a fabulous job of adding the infrastructure and keeping up with that population growth. Now, I'm going to talk about some things that I think that Blackfalds is lacking. Now, even though it has kept up great with infrastructure, I still think that it lacks in a few other areas. Obviously, there's some fun things to do with the family, like the Abbey Center. Again, the recreational amenities are amazing in Blackfalds. But I think when it comes to just some other fun things to do within the town, I think it could be lacking. For example, there is no movie theater.
What? That is unacceptable.
I agree. It's unacceptable.
I know as a kid, I loved going to the movie theater, checking out some movies. There also is no bowling alley. I mean, who doesn't love a good bowling game? Now, I know these things aren't too far away. You can go to Lacombe or Red Deer to take them in if you want to, but it is really nice having these things right in your backyards and not having to travel to do them. Now, even though it does have some phenomenal recreational amenities, I think that it's lacking in some retail stuff. There's not a lot of shopping in Blackfalds. There was only one grocery store for the longest time. They just got a new one called Buy Low Foods. There's also an IGA. There's 2 medical clinics in Blackfalds, so you may or may not have an easy time finding a family doctor. You might have to travel into the city or head to Lacombe for things like that. And I think that, and obviously all of this is just subjective. You might not give 2 shits. I'm just really trying to give you all the information that I can so that you guys can have everything when you make a decision. But sometimes in these smaller towns, you can get towns that have, amazing little downtown. I think Lacombe has a phenomenal downtown. I even think Bentley has a cool little downtown. In my opinion, Blackfalds is definitely lacking in that area. Most of the shopping and the retail are kind of along Highway 2A. And then there's a little strip of about a couple blocks. I think it has a restaurant, a hardware store, and a few banks on their main street. So not a lot of options for patios to sit on, or again, good places to have a coffee. I think it's lacking in some local shops, like local bakery stores and different things like that. So again, to find these kinds of things, and I'm sure this is all going to change as the town grows, you will have to be traveling to some different towns or into Red Deer for this kind of thing. Now, here is a pro tip though. Obviously, there's no hospital in Blackfalds.
Where the hell is that deadbeat hospital?
Find out.
If you do have to go to emerge, don't go to Red Deer. I think I just read an article last week where the Red Deer Hospital had the longest wait times in the province. Don't quote me on that, but it was pretty darn close. Don't fact check me. But the point of the story is, if you are going to go to emerge, go 15 minutes north to Lacombe, the small town hospitals, if it's nothing serious, of course. Sometimes those smaller town hospitals, they can't handle a lot of things. You might have to go into Red Deer, but if it's nothing too serious, head up to Lacombe, mingle with those laid back country folk.
Feels good to mingle with these laid back country folk, don't it, Hare?
I like it a lot.
But you usually can get in, you walk right in, you can be seen by a doctor very shortly in these small towns, and you can be out. Whereas if you go to Red Deer, oh my God, you don't know how long you're going to be waiting to get in to see somebody.
I am not going to just stand around and wait for Mr. Cheng to die.
All right, let's move along to the next one. Yes, I get asked this question all the time, and absolutely, there's lots of people who are moving to Red Deer. They ask me if Blackfalds is a legitimate or a good option if I'm going to be working in Red Deer. And 100% yes. A lot of people kind of consider Blackfalds almost to be a bedroom community of Red Deer. It's literally, I think, from the north edge of Red Deer to the south edge of Blackfalds, it's like 5 or 7 kilometers. So you can be in the north end of the city within 10 minutes easy to Walmart's or Good Life Fitness or Parkland Mall. If you wanted to go right downtown Red Deer, probably looking at 15 to 20 minutes. And of course, to make a Costco trip on the south end of Red Deer, super close. You don't even have to go into Red Deer. It's on Gasoline Alley. So again, 15, 20 minutes. Now you will find homes slightly more affordable in Blackfalds, which I think is one of the reasons that it attracts people who are thinking of living in Red Deer. It attracts them to Blackfalds. But also it's just more of a laid back feel. Blackfalds, there's not going to be as much crime. You're not going to have to deal with all the big city things that come with living in Red Deer. Even though Red Deer has that big town feel to it, doesn't really feel like a city. Obviously, it's much more busy than Blackfalds would be. The median detached price in Red Deer was $371,000 through 2022. People think that homes are significantly more cheaper in Blackfalds. The median detached price in Blackfalds was $357,000 through 2022. So yes, it definitely is more affordable, but it is not quite as big a difference as people think it is. And you will pay slightly higher property taxes in Blackfalds. So let's move right along to the next thing that I kind of love and don't love about Blackfalds, but let's talk about the location. Obviously, you are super close to Red Deer, which is a nice perk of living in Blackfalds. You're also not very far from Lacombe, so you have that option just to the north of you as well. And of course, Blackfalds is pretty much where Red Deer is, so you're pretty much smack dab in the middle of Edmonton and Calgary, which makes it a super easy day trip to either of those cities. You are obviously a little bit more closer to Edmonton, which makes it kind of nice if you have to catch an airport out of Edmonton's airport, because it's in Nisku. You don't even have to go into the city. It's on the south end, not even within the city limits. So you can probably be from Blackfalds to the Edmonton airport within an hour. And I love flying out of the Edmonton airport compared to the Calgary airport. It just feels a little bit less crazy to me. Of course, we have, day trips to the mountains if you want at 2.5 hours. We have Sylvan Lake just out to the west, which is one of the better lakes within this central Alberta area. So there's a lot of perks that come with living in this central Alberta area and this central location. Now let's talk about what I don't like about the location of Blackfalds, and this pertains more to kind of the geography and the layout and the scenery that surrounds the community. Now again, this is highly subjective. I'm trying to find things that are wrong with Blackfalds because it's really hard. It's really a fantastic little community.
Dwight, you may find this hard to believe, but this one is perfect.
But it basically was built in the middle of farmers' fields. For example, in Lacombe, you got lots of bodies of water with lots of connected walking trails. Red Deer has a river valley with tons of beautiful trails and parks. Obviously, Sylvan Lake has the lake and everything that surrounds that. In Blackfalds, in my opinion, it's a little bit bland. I mean, you're basically built in the middle of a farmer's field. There's not a lot of trees. I mean, there's tons of playgrounds and stuff for the kids. It's great for young families, but there's a lot of great walking trails. There's no river valleys, different things like that. And there are some things to consider when you are thinking of moving to Blackfalds. As I tell everyone, if you are looking at a home, pull up Google Maps and really take a deep dive into everything that surrounds the home that you're thinking of buying. So Highway 2A runs directly through the middle of Blackfalds. The farther west you go, it's kind of landlocked. We can't build too much farther west, so the town is growing east and it's growing north. On the west side, you have Highway 2. It is the busiest highway within Alberta, so depending on where your house is, you might hear that highway noise. That might be an issue to you. To some people, it's not an issue at all. They're moving from Toronto, or they're moving from, I think it's called the 401 or whatever it is, these super busy areas, so they don't care about stuff like that, a little bit of a highway hum or a noise. So something to consider. And one thing that drives me nuts about Blackfalds is that godforsaken train. I was showing a home there the other day, and I was standing outside trying to listen to see how bad the highway was actually, so I could give my client some perspective, and the freaking train was blowing its horn.
There it comes again.
So it is pretty loud in Blackfalds, and the train is pretty active. It is right on the west side of Highway 2A running through downtown.
I don't want to live like that.
It's really annoying.
So again, these are all highly subjective. I think Blackfalds is a phenomenal place and absolutely some place that you should consider if you're thinking of moving to Red Deer, but maybe you don't want to live in the city, you want to live just on the outside. Or if you're even just thinking of Central Alberta, it's a great option. It's one of it is the fastest growing community in Central Alberta. It has a lot of things going for it, and it's just continually getting better and better and better. And I think with this population growth, you're just going to see a ton of things keep popping up in Blackfalds. It's a phenomenal place to live. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, definitely click that notification bell. And of course, if you would like any help with the real estate needs, I'm a realtor. Give me a shout if you'd like to use this information. Phone, text, email, whatever you want. We'd love to hear from you. All right, guys, I will see you next week. Cheers.